morning, beautiful people. Good morning. Good morning. I will never get nobody name up. They was like, they was like, is that a wig? What was that? I said, I don't know. I don't do hair. You know what I'm saying? And I ain't gonna say the other women that was in there. Some that at the Mariners, they was laughing at the gym with me this morning and said, we know you gonna put them hairstyle. I said, I am. So I know, because we got 130. I said I am. I'm going to put it up there. Now, one downvote is Liddell or Kansas. I'm not messing with you.
Rocket, cold.
But look who they said that was Crockett. You got Stephen A. Smith attacking her now. Jasmine Crockett.
Attacking our whole nationality. So it ain't nothing new with him. He's the fastest race. He all that. He let you know who he is. He ain't holding him up.
But he black.
Stephen Miller ain't.
No, Stephen A. Smith.
Oh, man.
I'm talking about Stephen A. Smith. You ain't see how they said I said, y'all wrong. Y'all wrong. I mean, listen, hey, some laugh with you, some laugh at you. They laughed at me plenty of times. I laughing too, shit. But hey, it is what it is. But boy, we was rolling. They was like, you gonna put them pictures up? I said, I am. She the one brought up content. She said, are they trying to use stuff for content? I said, well, she gave it to me. This what I wanted to say. I was watching one guy. I was looking for his video, and he was talking about like in Chicago when they raided the hotel. And I get both sides, not the hotel, the apartment complex. But and as he was breaking it down, and it was like what they doing is, what they not telling people is, and it's bad on both sides, but these was the ones that the Democrats had. Remember when they took them to Martha's Vineyard and everything?
Yeah.
What's up?
I can't. I just can't fathom that, right? Like, I'm still stuck on, you touch my kids, I'm touching you. It's that serious. And the fact that he's just letting this man skate by, but a dude who does something peaceful, that rallies the community, do something peaceful, right? How often do we see people today get groups of people together, rile them up, and go set them loose? Jed Stratton gathered a group of people, got them focused, and did something productive, and he's the fucking monster? This is some bull.
Good morning, beautiful people. Y'all know I'm in the building. I'm up in here early this morning. How y'all doing? Let me see what we got. Meat Freaks. What's up, good brother? Brianna Busted Benz and Shocks. Good morning. Tony Terry, how you doing, good brother? Miami-Dade County 305 in the building. We got the lovely Debbie Clark, 1/2 of the Wonder Twins. What's up, good brother? Andre Holland in the building. Miss Odie, how you doing? Good morning. Good morning. Georgia boy, top of the morning to you, good brother. The lovely Terry Nixon also coming in. The lovely Carolyn Hendricks. How you doing, beloved? Sidney Green Sr., thanks for tapping in. Dallas, Texas in the building. Concrete Jungle, how you doing, good brother? Hope Beasley. I left my coffee at the house this time. Sandra Nichols Martin, good morning. Thank you for tapping in. Queen Anifa, Grand Rising, beloved. Asaya Quill, a.k.a. Mama Quill. You heard how you doing, beloved? The lovely Teresa in the building. How y'all doing on this lovely, lovely Wednesday morning? How y'all doing? Let me see where I shared this thing too. How y'all doing on this lovely Wednesday morning? I got a treat for y'all. Be patient. I got some people tapping in. To come see old Otis. You heard? Y'all hit that like button as y'all coming in. Hit that like button. It don't cost nothing as you hit that like button on your way when the show over. You hit that like button. It's going to come up and say, hype me up. Hype us up, you heard? Get us in the algorithm and share this show. You know, it ain't going to hurt nothing. Michael B., how you doing? Y'all see the title of the show, though? The Money Game. How y'all doing? What's up, Michael B? Thank you for tapping in. The lovely Deborah Luna is in the building. Thank you for tapping in. I got a decent treat. Oh, shoot. I got to share it back. Let me do this right here. Let me send this back out because I did come back out. Let me get this together. Let me get this together. Let me send this out. Put it in the atmosphere. I'm over here working hard. You heard? I'm working hard. I send that way. I send that. Okay, let me do this right here. It's this thing called Yup. That's what I gotta get to. Yup. See, a lot of y'all doubted me when I was telling y'all, but I'm gonna play that in a minute. I'm gonna play that in a minute. I keep telling y'all be doubting all Otis like Otis don't be sitting up looking for things. Don't worry about it. I'm not trying to shake nothing. I'm not trying to just open your minds up sometime. Put on your thinking cap, as they say. Put on your thinking cap. And I'm gonna play this. I'm trying to let my guest come on in. I'm just giving them some, I'm giving them a few more minutes to come on in. You heard? My guest out there be coming in. I thought it was gonna be Trevor, but I ain't see him in this morning. So I had chopped it up with these other two rascals. They're supposed to come on. They say they want to shake the morning with me. So I'm gonna let them come on in, It's just, I'm just trying to be me, you heard? I'm not gonna throw no hints of who these rascals that I'm bringing on this morning. I'm just saying. All I can say is I'm just saying. And y'all like, share, and subscribe. Tell them again, Teresa. How did y'all like it last night? Y'all had Winters she came in the building for for y'all. She came in here. Winters came in. She gave y'all some news that you can use. And she put some stuff out there in the air. Bonnie Vanner, thank you for tapping in, beloved, from coming from New Orleans. You heard? Thank you for tapping in. I mean, as I titled the show today, it's called The Money Game. And I truly believe it's a money game that's going down. The lovely JoJo Freeman and tapped in. Where you coming from, JoJo? Flint, Poison City, USA. You heard? Hey, Tony Tierkes, tell her we need it. Liddell, hit that $50 super chat. Would be nice since you in the mood of giving. You ain't lying. The lovely Barb Harrington, thank you for tapping in. Miss Kariza Smith, good morning. Good morning. As you can see, okay. Pastor Nicholas J. Gaddis. Welcome, my Gaddis clan. Okay, one of the late guests is on this morning. I didn't give y'all, I didn't tell y'all who it was because I kept saying just this. She usually be late on time. Then we got the super late one gonna be tapping in a minute. Marcia, thank you for tapping in. And you accounted for it and hit that like button. Elder Golden Child Sharp, how you doing, good brother? Thank you for tapping in. Now, I've been trying to get into my bag on some things. Right now, we into breaking movies down. We're into breaking movies down. You heard? First Lady Ashley Gaddis, good morning, good morning. I was gonna use. Let me say, yep, it's going everywhere. Okay. I might have missed it. What? Okay, let me see. Let me see. Mr. Thomas, everything is about money. That's why this country has gone to hell. Facts. That's why I'm calling this today. I call it The Money Game. Today, the title of the show is called The Money Game.
Money game. That's all that matters in this world.
Facts. That's all that do matter. Thank you for tapping in, Allie Nicole Gaddis River. Y'all give a shout out to my co-host, one half of Just the Thought. We waiting on the other half for tapping in. Yogi G coming from the 202. My good brother, Michael Cooley coming in from Greenwood, Mississippi, 662. He said, point of order. Keep pressure on Davina. Diabolical. But I don't know how much more pressure you can give. I'm telling you, but today I'm just waiting on. I'm just waiting on because I got a video I want to play because I know people probably thinking, oh, Otis don't know what he be talking about. The Way of Jesus Christ Through Faith Church. Thank you for tapping in.
What's happening?
Bain, North Carolina. You heard? But I'm just saying, I call it the money game, and I don't want to be like what people be getting mad. You know, 'cause I hate to be because I was watching something right. Well, what's my man name? The basketball player, Tony Terry saying, "What's up, Yogi G?"
What's happening?
Big
Yep,
Mama.
our homecoming already went down last weekend. You know, they showed up and showed out, and then the media tried to turn it out. They tried to
Wow,
put a little bag on. They tried to put a little shooting on Howard
wow.
homecoming. You know, they always try and break us down and say we don't know how to act amongst each other, but it had nothing to do with Howard. The people spoke up,
Mm.
and Dastardly D's didn't win this time. But go ahead, Mick.
I'm gonna say Big Mama Gaddis, good morning. Christine Chandler, good morning. Pop Gaddis, good morning. But that's why we have to control the narrative. You have to have your own media for things that's going
Absolutely.
on. You know, that's how they're gonna paint the picture like that. So you just gotta be, you gotta take the bitter with the sweet. I was having a conversation with my family member this morning, and we was talking about like how the media. Tasha Lynn, thank you for tapping in from Georgia. You heard. Shout out to my down south family from Mississippi to Louisiana to Georgia to Tennessee to Arkansas. You heard Alabama in the building. I don't know why would she put that up on here. Like, this is a Disney Network, Anna. We don't do no cussing.
Since when?
Erica Gaddis, thank you for tapping in from Los Angeles. Eleanor Wicker, thank you for tapping in. Jazzy Melanie, good morning. Thank you for tapping in from South Carolina. Shout out to my South Carolina, both North and South. Sheila, good morning. Blakey Gaddis tapping in from Chapel Hill, North Carolina. Raphael Burr, told you my Mississippi people going to be tapping in. Good morning, good morning. Oh, you early for this one, but you're late for being in person, but good morning to you.
What's that, Winston?
Oh, okay. Tony Terry said, damn, that's crazy. I heard something similar about Jackson State. Well, they always going to overhype ours anytime we do something. That's how the media got to work.
Yeah, that's decades ago. That's what they did. They assaulted the institutions where we like
Start
to,
yourself.
get educated. And what's happening, Shorty Chef? Uh, and so, yeah, you're right. It is the season. I'm glad that you noticing the pattern. But as long as, like Mick said, we control the narrative, we start printing our own media and things like that, it'll be all right. We've been here before, unfortunately.
Facts. Did you see that they catch that disease monkey in Mississippi? How a disease monkey
Man,
but all that stuff get loose? Lorna, good morning.
you talking about movies, Mick? This make me think about The Omen. Remember how they had how many seals was it? They had to break before all hell
But
was like.
was it 7? I can't. Was it 7 seals?
I
I
don't
got
know.
I got this video because I know y'all say y'all the beautiful Sherry Allen is in the building.
What's
Good
happening,
morning,
Sherry Allen?
beloved.
Good morning.
I got something for y'all, Anna. I don't know what you doing over there. Put the camera down, Anna.
Touring the
You doing
world.
too much fidgeting. I don't like all that fidgeting when I'm trying to get the message out here. That's why we doing drug testing. I don't care what nobody say. We doing straight up drug testing. I don't care if you like it or dislike it.
That's
Because that's
wild.
how
I
I'm
can't
playing.
help a damn
Cause
bike ride jump in
y'all
front of
council
me.
going through drug testing now.
We
8 cents
the
weed. We gotta do
podcast
drug testing.
network finna go through it too. All that fidgeting going on over there.
Let me
I
check
got
my
it. Yeah, I'm
details.
telling you, I don't like that all that fidgeting. You make me
Play the
nervous.
video. Otis, play the video.
I got you.
How many of y'all in here saw the movie The Green Mile? Thank you. How many of y'all didn't like it? I'll go back and see it again. I've seen it 13 times. And when you go back and really see what that movie's about, then you realize why Stephen King was hit with that truck. And then you realize why 2 months ago Stephen King had a press conference and said he'll never write again. And then you realize last Friday, this guy that got all kinds of bad records of driving went into court, one of the most powerful writers that ever lived, and got set free. And I'm going to say to you again, those of y'all that didn't like the movie, you should say a prayer that your mind will be open to see what you really saw. And those of you that haven't seen it, every day that goes by without you seeing it, you do the 70 trillion cells in your body are disturbed. What's the name of the movie? The Green Mile. Who saw it? You remember what the black man's name was? John Coffey. And those initials is J. what? Go back and see the movie. And then read the New Testament, because that movie is the story of Jesus Christ. They just took a mentally retarded nigga and made him Jesus, and most of y'all didn't even see that, because y'all would expect a Ron Brown type nigga to be made Jesus. Huh? That white woman laying in the bed, that was Mary Magdalene. Y'all go back and see it. Those of you who didn't understand. Jesus Christ wasn't healing. He was pulling demons out of people, and he cast them into pigs, and the pigs went crazy. In that movie, he pulled them demons out and cast it into that pig top, and he went crazy. Y'all go back and see that movie again. In the Bible, when Jesus was put on the cross, he was hung between two thieves. That was the two guys that got executed ahead of him. Yeah. And the one thief said, when you go to heaven, will you remember me? That was the Indian brother that said to Tom Hanks, if I repent now, will I be good? Y'all need to go back and y'all need to start breaking code. But y'all can go, y'all like Matrix. Everything I do, like Matrix. Because they showed a black woman and a black man that had the finest mind in the history of the planet. But the white boy was the savior. Huh? I ain't met a black person that didn't like it. How can you like that filth? And here a white man sit and took a mentally retarded nigger and made him Jesus Christ. And because of that, they tried to kill him.
You gonna put my man on there, Dick Gregory.
Huh?
I said you gonna put my man on there, Dick Gregory.
Hey, good morning to lovely Beverly Biggs Levy in the building. Good morning, Queen. Good morning. Michelle Mirror, thank you for tapping in. I'm just saying this some of the stuff all oldest be watching. That's why I could bring some stuff up with Dick Gregory when he was talking about how this big NBA scandal thing is going down. You know what I'm saying? I should have used that for some of that conspiracy too, but I'd be having so much with me and Brother Elliot be talking about. Lorraine Thompson, thank you for tapping in, Queen. Michelle Smith, thank you and your husband for tapping in. King and Queen. Thank y'all, beloved. Good morning, family. I'm just saying, like, that's why I don't think a lot of people be paying attention when you be watching shows. Like some things I had to go back and I be having to watch them, you know, to get a different understanding on it.
Yeah, so what year did the Green Mile come out, Mick? You remember?
I can't remember when it came out. I'm not gonna lie to you. Sweet Cupcake on break. Thank you for tapping in.
What's happening,
Uncle Carl? Thank you for tapping in.
Bring back Uncle Cole. Bring back Uncle Cole. I just had to get that out from the chat to the chat.
Yeah, Deborah, I'm gonna send it to you so you can watch it. It was just breaking down the story of Jesus Christ when a lot of people didn't understand about the movie, The Green Mile.
So I never knew that those things had happened to Stephen King after the movie came out.
Yeah,
right?
1999.
Yeah. Thanks, chat. Thanks, Sheila, for
Ron Haywood. Thank you for tapping in.
1999, I was in high school, and so when I saw The Green Mile, the things that Dick Gregory is speaking to, as I watched it in my adulthood, definitely tracked. And but I can say it's not been one of those movies that I've gone back to like repeatedly, because I do also watch a lot of documentaries and stuff like that. So, you know, but if you haven't seen it, I do agree that you definitely need to check it out, because it was a wonderful film.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you do, but see, what made me, and not to cut you off, what made me, because I didn't catch it the first time. I start, as they say, when people get woke, start watching conscious
Mhm.
around about like really like 90s, 99, 2000, 2001. I started watching, like I tell y'all about Sinetta. Them, you can go look at Sinetta TV. That's how I got hip to Dr. Umar, Tariq Nasheed, Fire Seti, I think from Detroit. What was the one girl from here? Her name was Michi X. Like all the different people, Sarah Susan Seti, let me say. But a lot of this I got hip to from watching and what's my man name? Economics guy. Um Dr. Claude Anderson
Mhm.
and stuff. So you know what I'm saying? So it's just like when people you start waking up. So I started looking at things a lot different. That's how I found out who really wrote the Matrix movie. Like when he was breaking that down, and it was like when you see it how it was did, you can understand. You can kind of understand what we going through. What I'm saying.
Yeah, I mean, that that made me think of maybe I would consider it my generation's or like soon as closer to our lifetime version of the Green Mile, Book of Clarence. Have you
Right.
seen it?
Yeah, that was dope.
You know all the controversy that came with it, though, right?
Right. Yeah,
Like
you know
it,
why, don't
it,
you?
had, it had Book of Clarence had a bomb message. It was written and directed by a black company or a black man, and the messaging behind it was powerful. Like it made a comparison between somebody who had never considered all the hype behind Jesus and
Mhm.
like what made him powerful, and he ultimately ended up walking the path before Jesus even had a chance to. Spoiler alert! But you still need to check it out because it had a lot
Mhm.
of conscious messaging in it. Other than
Mhm.
that, we had awesome actors like
Mhm.
Kiefer. What's his name? Kiefer. I can't think of his last name, but he was in Black Judas, the
Mhm.
movie about Fred Hampton and stuff. So like, see, look, we got people saying it. Yeah, Book of Clarence, check it out. But the same thing, like people are so ready to join the bandwagon and demonize some of the
Mhm.
media that's put out predominantly by Black people that you forget that that's a way that we've communicated with each other during these times to get the messaging out. And if it can be so that you can be crucified by your own people because
Mhm.
you're trying to find creative ways to educate your people and bring them into a conscious form during these times, then for a white man also to have gone through his life ultimately being trying to be snuffed out because he's trying to make the comparison to Jesus with a black man, like I don't know what that says to you, but for me in my tinfoil hat, it says that you need to start tapping into a lot more of the undertones in a lot of these movies and not being ready to give the thumbs down because you don't, like the broad narrative.
And that's his name, Lakeith Stansfield.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Allegedly. Okay.
Just put that up there, allegedly.
All of this is allegedly. Tinfoil hat.
Mm. Yeah,
Robert
no.
Bird said that Matrix movie was picked off the bat. I knew that when that movie meant, uh, yeah, that's what you're right.
Yeah, no, Sheila, I do agree with you, but I'm just saying how I got hip to a lot of and Deborah Luna. It was called Sinetta TV. That's why I used to see that's how I got hip to Wesley Muhammad. You know what I'm saying? We used to get to see the because some of them have went to jail. You will run into some scammers on there, but that's how I got to see the Moore Science Temple brothers. Like, because Sinetta them would throw debates. You know what I'm saying? And where you get to see each person will come with what they thought was the knowledge, and you will get it challenged. You know what I'm saying? They will call, you had to you had to show and prove. Lanita Murray, thank you for tapping in. Facts. It's a prime example. Last year's Super Bowl, first reactions were of ignorance. But I think, Christy Coleman, thank you for tapping in. But I think what it is just to us, we have to understand, and I get it, like how like you see it now. America don't really want to show a history of its past was coming its presence again. They don't really want to show like why you think they want to ban certain stuff out of the books. ban certain stuff. They don't want to show. They want everybody to think it's just, it's all peaches and cream. And you know why a lot of people was mad about the Book of Clarence movie. What made it a big issue?
Because he was smoking in it, and they felt like it was blasphemous to the legacy of Jesus to mention that there was any implication that the whole jam of Jesus is the fact that he hung amongst the sinners, not the saints, because the saints were so self-righteous that they couldn't be talked to. Those were the ones who crucified him.
Right.
But when he went and he was amongst the people to show them that there was deliverance in some of the demons that were plaguing them, that was the whole jam of Jesus. And yet the most Christian-based people could not get that concept, and they demonized it. And it never got talked about in the way that any of the color. Imagine The Color Purple coming out, and people like, it's too black. But then you got Wakanda coming out, and everybody into dashikis. Make it make sense. Make it make sense.
Well, you know what? I saw a movie. I saw a podcast this morning. I'm gonna give him. I think it was Godfrey. I know it was Godfrey. It had Alcho, Emmanuel Alcho on there, and it's called 154. And they was talking about, can Nigerians speak on fires black issues? I damn near wanted to jump, and I like Godfrey, but I damn near wanted to fall all the way out. But when I saw it, when they was talking about like how they grew up and then certain where their kids went to and talk about the things that they did and their experience, I don't understand, like with them, like, do they understand they're not letting the Patrice Lumumbu type to come over here? They're not going to let their revolutionaries come over here. They're going to bring more of who going to have a stereotypical way on blacks as they come here. And I think they wouldn't being more honest. I think with Emmanuel, some of the things he did in the media, and like to me, because like he was taking shots at Shannon Sharp and Cat Williams. Like Cat Williams saying, when blacks, they got they podcast, all they want to do is dog blacks. It's no different than how you dog the black athlete. And I think they get superficial, and this is what what pisses me off with them when they be doing that. And I get why Tariq be saying FBA and all of this, because a lot of time they come in and they sit up here and they do separate themselves from us. They do separate, you know what I'm saying? Let's be honest, they do separate themselves. I can prove to you right now. You can get a Nigeria, any of them come over here. They'd be more cooler with whites, Arabs, and look down on blacks, and they look just like me and you. I done seen it. This ain't nothing I'm just throwing out there.
Here in DC, we definitely have a community of like African Americans versus African migrants. Right. And a lot of times in the company that I keep, I have friends that are from Ghana, and we have conversations about this all the time. Some of them are not as well informed about, as prevalent as it has been in American history. Some of them still are not as informed about our process as being African Americans in America, and the tumultuous relationship between that we as Black Americans have with, white representation, current and past. But also, I think there's an arrogance of ignorance that exists with them culturally, because they think that, I heard things that like we're uncultured as Black Americans because we don't have, a root of like how we express ourselves in a village form. But they also some of them have never taken the opportunity to like intentionally engage with us, at least here in DC, right? You got your Afro Soca crew, and they are very community oriented, and they do everything together, and very rarely do you see them come into community unless it's just something to do on a Saturday. So when do you ever get an opportunity to really bridge the two communities and say, listen, this is why we show up the way that we do, and this is why we need you to understand that you're part of the solution or you're part of the problem, because they also have political power, at least here in DC, because we have all of the embassies and things like that. So it really matters that we have these type of conversations here in the District of Columbia, because people have different voting powers. People are making power decisions behind closed doors because of their connections culturally. So it's a mixed bag for us here in DC. So yeah, yes, and to what you named, it is very much a real thing.
And that's what I feel. I've been like, how can we bridge that gap? Because there's still a disconnect at the end of the day with us with them, and that's why I'll be looking at it. I can see why, because they don't get it twisted. I didn't like you know what I'm saying. I look at it. What's good morning? I mean, Marsha, she did.
Good
Oh,
morning.
fat.
Good morning.
Let me see. Let me see.
Yeah, I mean it's divide, right? Because as long as we're bickering amongst each other, the people at the top is really doing damage to all of us. No matter what label you give yourself, it's either you're rich or you're poor, and then when amongst the rich people, even they still are divided amongst themselves because you got new money
Facts.
versus old money, and they bicker amongst each other, and they give us the receipts to let us know they put the knowledge in plain sight because they know that you blinded enough not to one catch on or one two not to seek it. So I mean, as soon as we understand that we are back at square one, because that's where they put us, and you can tell the plays of what is going to give us the power to be able to override what's happening to us right now by what they're important, what they're choosing to shut down. In my opinion, right? Like they're taking away the knowledge. That means that if you're not currently spending your time reading up on the Constitution or the Bill of Rights, then you're missing out on how you're going to protect yourself during this takeover that's happening, because that's exactly what it is. It's a takeover. It's a hijacking of democracy to test the boundaries to see if we catching on or not, or we just going to be domiciled and being taken over by our own people. And I have to say our, because where else are we going to go? Because even as I said on our own show, that if you're coming outside of your box of like where you live locally, and even if you turn your attention to what's happening nationally and you're still not moved, that we're all in this band of fuckery together. Excuse me, Mick, that'll be my own cuss word for this show. I know you're trying to monetize. But then if you come outside of that box and you go internationally, for us as Black American, because I can't share anybody else's story other than the one that I identify with, we're pretty much screwed. You know, they got whole mass immigration campaigns that are happening in other parts of the world. So you really got a lot of levels of deciding of what your next moves are going to be, starting today, and maybe less time than that, November 1st, because let's not forget that we have that timeline ticking right now. A wise man once said, "Have you forgotten we were robbed of our name, robbed of our language? We lost our religion, our culture, our God, and many of us, by the way we act, we even lost our mind." Man.
And that's why I'm saying, do people really understand like what we, that's why I'm like, do the ones they bringing over here really understand the plight that we had here? And that's what I don't think. Like when you be hearing the ones who came over, some of y'all didn't come over here to what the 60s, 70s, but what you think we was going through when we got over here? You know what I'm saying? The ancestors. See, I don't think they understood what Jack Johnson about the Mann Act. See, that be my problem. And I get when y'all want to come over here, they left their oppression where they was going. You know what I'm saying? They ain't stayed where their oppression was at. See, they didn't fight over there to get the everything you get now. And that's what I think. I'm thinking like they don't respect us. Like, how you think y'all able to come here? How you think y'all able to go get this? Y'all wasn't getting hung over here. Y'all ain't had that problem. But then when something happened to them, then we black. You know what I'm saying? Don't come saying, because I don't like when because I be in some of the Twitter spaces. I go watch them when they be talking about, oh, you shouldn't get reparations. How y'all telling us what we shouldn't be getting? You know what I'm saying? If you really say you 10 toes down, why you ain't fight with your problem at over there? Like we fighting over here for this. And I'm not trying to be nasty or nothing. I'm just being honest. Just like you had Che Guevara. You think they want them type of people coming over here, waking up the people here?
It's the trick bag of divide, Nick. You gotta have a villain to hide the real villain. And when they come over here, there are certain perks, right, that come along with the journey of being one prepared to come into an environment, right? It's kind of like what I explain to people who are transient here to DC, and I say that, listen, me as a DC native, I don't have a problem with you, being a transient, because you make the city run, you add to the culture, and the robust, all those things of having somebody different come along. Where I have a problem is that when you don't educate yourself about the community that you're coming into, because when you're imposing your experience and then that you have coming from a different space and the ability that you had to adapt and think about how you're going to adapt to a space that I've had to operate in real time, and we're not on the same level. So then there's a certain, like I said, arrogance that comes away with the way that you're moving because you didn't take the time to understand what the layout was for the people that exist here. So how you get into a space of telling me how I'm living my life when you never even took the time to even understand what that means or what that looks like? But that's all about design, because that's the same mentality in my mind, like with bootstrapping, right? And you have class divide here as in DC. I keep saying, how many times can you overlook the fact that since the 70s, we've had people who look like me and you, Mick, that have been in power, and yet we have a very hood right now that is the same, has the same aesthetics from the 70s after all these black mayors. So where is the excellence that was supposed to be trickled down? Where has that came through? But except for a selective few. But you'll never understand it because the narrative in these small spaces in the room where it happens, where nobody, all the people are not, is that people are not taking advantage of these opportunities that's supposed to lead them to access. When the reality is nobody's tracking the money that you're putting into a narrative to make sure it's actually working for everybody. But you'll tell me it's because I haven't put my bootstraps up and got out there while I'm sitting telling you that I have, but your people out here taking money and not doing their job, but nobody's checking them. So who you gonna believe? The person that need the help, that's the closest to like being into poverty, or the person that's sitting comfortably thinking that they know what poverty feels like? It don't make sense.
Good morning, Shantae. Nah, you right on that. And that's what I be hate when you be hearing them saying, "Oh, African American, y'all lazy." What? What you mean lazy? Do you
No,
know
we
we
are.
lost lives to vote? Do
Yeah.
you know we didn't? It's like, do you? And I hate that when I hear that. Oh, you lazy? No, we just not finna work from no $2 hour job. You know what I'm saying? You got to be honest with that. That be my only beef. Like, don't come say, "Nah, I get it," but and also let me say this. I hate that this scare tactic they are doing in the hood right now. When they sitting up here saying, "I get it, November 1st, not benefits finna be cut off." I hate the scare tactic that they putting like, "Oh, black." Do y'all understand? We only 14% of the population of America. We only 14%. It's not gonna be us cutting up, and y'all can. And they can use Flint. They can use Michigan right now. What's out? What's outside of Flint?
Nick, not to cut you off, do you know that there also is a campaign that's happening on social media right now that some people are not even hip to, that is AI, where they're using representation of black women crying over EBT and losing their SNAP benefits? Like, it's wicked out here. Y'all, we gotta like
Are
open our
you
eyes for
serious?
real. Yes, yes, yes. It's been a whole campaign that's been happening on
What's
social
up,
media
JP6?
where they've been using imagery of black women. And to those stats that you talked about, we know that the largest representation of SNAP benefit users are white. That's not a hate campaign against Caucasian people. It is what the data says. And so, to your point, it is absolutely fear mongering because they're looking for any reason to activate martial law. I don't care how my statement that I just made is my own. I don't care how you categorize it. But if you look at what martial law means and the steps that it would take for it to be activated, and you look at the things that have come down the pipeline from people being furloughed, them having ability to change the circumstances by activating emergency funds and choosing not to, they are actively looking to agitate the masses so that they can implement their next plan. It's not happenstance that they tore down the East Wing after lying for Donald Trump said that he wasn't going to touch it, and he lied, and they did it anyway. And if you are familiar with history and you know the history of Hitler, then you'll understand exactly what's going on as far as the steps that we're taking.
Give her ass a ticket.
I know, right? You saw that? They
Yeah,
be on the
give
prowl.
Anna a ticket. Give her a ticket, officer. She been talking hella junk about y'all. She been saying,
She
"Oh, how
ain't
you doing?"
giving me no ticket. She not giving me
Nikki
no
ass
ticket.
a ticket. I thought we was finna see
I
you get a
know
ticket.
her. I know her.
Bush. That's what I don't like.
She probably do, you
It's
know.
only what? Only 69. I know y'all lying today.
Oh man, that's wild. It's
Get
okay.
that together. Good morning, Latrice Green. Thank you for tapping in. And I do agree with you, Sherry Allison. AI is showing they real about black people stealing groceries from Walmart. Ain't that terrible?
Well, I think Anna had mentioned it when we were on. We went to Wally World, which I don't normally do. Let me just say that. But they said the cashier said that they would be closed, and nobody gonna have an opportunity to do that, not unless you feeling big, bad, and bold. And he said they bringing an extra security guard. So if that's on your bing bang list for November 1st, you might want to rethink that plan. I don't think going up to Yonder's for a pack of ribs is on God's acceptance list. But you know,
And that's what I see. I hate that, like the game that they playing is like, and I can see it where they can create. Like I said, it's just that I hate that, like they really finna do this. Don't you know these states can really help they people? Really, the government can go ahead. They can end the shutdown really overnight if they wanted to. Let the people have their Medicare, but Medicaid. But you know why they don't want to do it? Because they want to do wasteful spending. They
it's a
want to do
standoff
wasteful
right
spending.
now. It's
Yeah.
a standoff right now because like I can't speak to what's happening in every area, but like what I'm seeing, and once again, I have to study these things and look into it because it's my major and it's journalism and media strategy. So I
Mm.
am intentionally looking into how media plays a part in organizing and outcomes of social justice.
Mm-hmm.
So, with that being said, I think that what's being missed is that the community is rallying to be a support system, a sustainable support system of how people are getting fed. What I'm noticing is that there's a high focus on furloughed federal workers. You got restaurants, you got community farms and things like that. People are creating apps. So maybe, Mick, I can get that to you. You can put it on the ASEN thing where people are showing you how to get connected with the farms that are nearby you that are doing food programming. So I'm saying all this to say that as far as like individual citizens coming together to really strengthen up community and provide for each other while the government is playing with our funds and tax dollars, that's happening. I think that to the point of what I'm saying as far as the standoff, how sustainable it can be while they're tightening the loops around like farmers and how they're able to grow. And then we know historically they've gone to like paying people to destroy people's farms and crops and things like that. And I don't think that this is a administration that we can be like, that's not probable. We know it is
You're right.
probable. You know.
No, I agree with you. That's what I'm saying. Because you have rich people. These are super rich people playing with the minds and the lives of people. That's like going back here. And I'm not knocking and I'm just being honest. Anytime you have to do something, I try to look at it like I titled the show The Money Game. I get it. And I give the brother Art a shout out for bringing the cancer cluster study here to get a study. But people finna get paid for that. You about to get paid for that. It's still people finna get money. And to me, it's like the people that's really suffering, that's dying, the people that lost loved ones. But this what we'll give a study to come. But nah, the study should have been, we we should have been trying to help y'all. We should have been did this. But to me, I just see people finna make money. I'm not, and that's just my humble opinion. People finna come in and make money, and you finna make it off people. I mean, they making it off people dying. What's up, H Spag? Thank you for tapping in.
Yeah, man. They people make some real harsh decisions without considering the fact that it's going to affect a lot more people than they realize. And that's why I always talk about self-preservation. You
Mm-hmm.
know, like love it or hate it, it is the only motivation for every individual out here. even the most well-intended person has to consider self-preservation. Because first and foremost, you can't show up for people that you love if you're not showing up for yourself, or you're gonna be living a very short existence. And so that's where that's where the term self-care comes from and why it populated so heavily. Now here's the gag about how narrative rules, right? They took something that people were putting out into the community to remind people that you have to be accountable for your vessel. And Brother Elliot and you, Mickey, have talked about this, about how you got to be more diligent about what you're putting in your body, how you're moving around and and moving your body, because you need fluidity the older that you get, right? Because I'm a part of the 40 and older crew, so I'm learning this the hard way, right? The importance of stretching, hydration, all of those things. So when you talk about self-care, that was where that terminology came from. The way that capitalism and consumerism, there we go. It might, I'm getting close to
words are hard.
Words are definitely hard, especially with the DCPS education. Okay. But the way that works is that they heard, right? Because they always listen in the fact that everybody was starting to remind people that you have to be more self-care oriented while you're looking to take care of the community and people you love. They turned it into, that goes into your nails done, getting your hair done, getting the skincare routine, and all this other stuff that make you buy. So now we done fell back into the trap and totally misconstrued what it meant. So just to give you one pinpoint of how quickly media can shift something that we're looking to put into the forefront. And the same thing is happening with the food, same thing is happening with the medical care, and it just goes on and on and on. Honor, you've been quiet this whole time and it's starting to scare me. I'm back on this camera.
Girl, because you've been
I
said, Lord, I ain't gonna get not one word in.
And I'm glad you didn't. I don't want to hear. I don't want to hear what you talking about.
I'm talking shit. You know I'm talking shit.
Oh,
I'm cussing.
And about to get kicked off.
And shit.
That's that goddamn bullshit you just spit up.
I tell you, man. I tell you. I tell you, a legend.
You gonna throw on shade?
I can't afford tinted glasses. Hey, look. I listened to everything y'all, Mickey. I listened to everything y'all said.
What you say?
What are the solutions in everything you saying?
We're not talking about Flint with your ass. That's the solution. That's one.
What are the solutions? I hear all the negative. Well, what are the solutions?
I just told you what the solution was. You didn't listen to shit I said. You see her,
Mickey, what is your solution?
Hold on. Let me explain it to you, devil. What I said was, I said they putting out here about the SNAP benefits finna go. I don't like the propaganda they putting out here on the black saying that. Okay, now go for it. Now you said what the problem was the solution.
Oh, you talking about that? I'm talking about the whole conversation.
Oh, okay. You want to go to
I'm talking about the whole no, not Dick Gregory. That's my man. That's right there. And most people look, and most people talk about Dick Gregory real quick because they done pulled it up on their phone. And the reality is you really had to follow Dick Gregory to understand, because they paint him as he's a conspiracy theorist, and he's not. He is literally speaking facts when he talks. But that's for another show. I've been following that man since I was a teenager. But I will say this. We need to give white love on this show because I hear too much black pride on here.
We can tell who she worked for. I keep telling y'all, I don't work for the motherfucking government. I ain't gonna try to cost you. You finna come on here. Why?
Look, you gonna run away all the white people off this show now, Mickey?
I can't get AOC. I can't get AOC. Somebody step down. I got you.
Lord, let me see. Let me take these glasses.
That's part of that. You part of that boule.
Oh man,
La Raza. I already know this bullshit here.
Nah, the boule. Look up the boule. Who started the boule? That's where you really need to go to. Who started that boule?
You already been there. You ain't been watching the show.
Who? Not on this show. I'm talking about what's his name. Probably talked about it. No, it's just a lot is going on. Like I'm messing and joking and talking.
I know.
just like Mickey, like, you know, I hear all the, you know, all of the subject lines that y'all are bringing up, but I still am in a pause and without breath because November 1st is literally Saturday, right? And not everybody usually gets their food stamps on the 1st, right? But seniors, I think, get it on the 1st and 2nd, or if your last name starts with an A or a B, so you will, you know, you will see. It's unfortunate that people were not out there telling people, like, don't spend all your you know, your subsidies right away, because it's a possibility they're not going to open up this government, right? And so the rhetoric is you should have saved your October food stamps, and that lady went viral for that. But what's ignorant is some people don't get a lot of food stamps, so how you gonna save on a little bit? So we need to really speak about, we really need to speak on truth about that. And then the other thing is, y'all brought it up, the reason why they try to make it seem as if black and brown people, well, blacks have more, you heard me?
Yeah, I heard you.
That blacks are more on EBT because of the population amount. So let's say if we're 14 to 15% of the population, and you have more than 26% of that population on assistance, that's why they're trying to say that. But what they really should be saying, that if we put every human being on this earth, the white population is over 50-something% on assistance. And even states where we don't live, of course, are going to be hit hard. But even in states where we don't live, they don't talk about. I showed y'all that the other day, the numbers, and I showed y'all Michigan numbers. But the rhetoric isn't that blacks are more on stamps. The rhetoric should be, how come these white people allow this man to get in office and still supporting him? Like, you just want to go out there and go rah rah and be broke, or rah rah and be hungry, or rah rah die because you can't get insulin. Like, I don't get it, Mickey. I don't get it. And I'm paused with conversation because this is like, I you know, all day I've been watching news. I call Yogi G in the morning. We talk about stuff that's going on. I sat in a meeting yesterday with the guy. His name's Robert White. He's our at-large council member. And I asked him a question. And my question was, you know, sometimes people use the title in this city, Native Washingtonian, to the point where people believe in them and say, well, he's a Native Washingtonian. What he say, we down for, right? Because he was born here, he went to school here, and he's representing D.C. But not necessarily mean he going to represent D.C. in the city the right way. And so my question to him was, you know, about him literally allowing these investors to come into the city and build up in Ward 5. But Ward 5, literally where I live at, we don't need nothing to be built because they ain't even filled with people living in them. Because can't nobody afford to live in it. So when you say I'm investing in the city, what the hell you investing in? To move us the hell out? I'm listening to all of this, but there's still people that are in position that look like us, and they carry the title of I'm from here, I've been here, and they hold, and the people that been here. Sometimes I say, sometimes y'all need to hold accountable, even in Flint, y'all need to hold accountable the people that y'all putting in position, or y'all need to get out there and really vote and really test the waters. Just like the Republicans go in there and put all the craziness on the media, I feel it's the same thing we need to do. You need to put people out there on Front Street, even if it's so-called, they look like they're giving you a little bit. Even in Flint, like when I used to watch the counts, I used to watch it a lot, but I'm telling you, it's too stressful for me. I mean, when I went in person, the view is, the perception is one side is good and one side is bad, right? But we all see, you got to look at people's voting history. Not how they talk, not how they come across, not how they partner with you, what they vote. And when people start recognizing how people vote, you start to look at an individual differently. That's all I want to say. I see you got a video.
What people you talking about that's voting like that, though? I need names. I just can't let you just come on here and just talk in circles and don't say it.
I ain't
what you
talking in
mean?
circles. I can
Yeah,
only talk
no,
about
what
how
you mean
people
by
vote in DC.
I thought it's about Flint because you was just talking about it in Flint.
No, I say in Flint in the past. Where in the past, I can only go in the past because I ain't been paying attention
Go ahead.
recently. But I can go in the past. I mean, Eric Mays is the -- one example. The way they voted him out of there.
That's easy. That's easy to pick.
Well, that's one that I know that everyone can know. The way they did Eric Mays every single week, how they sat there and stayed quiet, how no one wrote an amendment, no one wrote nothing. They just let it just go through. Not only that, the same thing with the water. How many times the issue come up with water and they want to go in the back and hide from the people? Who voted on that?
Some people that you might have liked.
So this is what I'm saying. So you want me to dig in there? I'm not gonna dig, but so much because this ain't about Flint this morning. It's about
I know it's about national news. But I got another one for you since y'all know y'all want some more Dick Gregory. I got another one for y'all because I don't want you to run off. This is another one, but I just want to be clear because I know I'm bouncing around. This about the NBA. I just want y'all to be clear.
Okay, about the NBA.
I want y'all to be clear.
Oh, okay. I see. Let me put my.
Got killed on the side of the road.
Michael knew that. They busted Michael. Michael ain't got no money. Michael broke. That's chump stuff.
It was like a gambling thing or something.
Okay, you know, gambling. Broke. But they said, now we got this one Negro, so we don't have to get no more. His wife filed for divorce and everything. He said, he ain't got no money. Why y'all just stay there? How did it come out? Because Michael Jordan, the restaurants he owned, he signed a contract where he would show up X amount of times a year, and they went to court and found he just had 2%. So when they busted him, shaving points. Then in the process, they said, oh, wow, man, Magic Johnson's doing the same thing. So they said, oh, we're in trouble. That is basketball. So they made a deal. Magic, you say that you have AIDS and you won't get out. He kept gaining weight, man. The next thing you know, he was killed. Well, how come all them billionaire white folks that's dying from it didn't follow him? He never had it. Okay? And that big scandal with the basketball owner out there.
Oh, yeah, Sterling.
Yeah, Sterling. That's a lover's quarrel.
Absolutely.
And he said, in Magic, you ought to apologize to the black community because you know Magic just get 2% of that. See how it works? Yeah. So here's what they did with Michael. Found his daddy dead in a car. So I go talk to a couple of state troopers. They say in the car, he just bought that car for his dad. And the name of the salesperson in Illinois, his car was up there. Throw that Magic and all, so we're gonna get out. I'm just taking this is too hard. So he went to say, he's gonna play baseball. And once he cooled out, stay in shape, then he comes back. When Magic tried to come back, Malone said, I won't be out there playing with no AIDS.
How y'all doing, family? That was on my mind.
I saw this before. You gotta watch that whole thing.
I
you
know
where he did that at, right? You know where he did that at, right?
What
that interview at, right?
What was my man name? Because I was watching him because he did a bunch of
No, I'm talking about the physical place where he was at, where he did that. He was at Sankofa. He was at Sankofa right here on Georgia Avenue. Me and Yogi G go in there all the time. And he literally was upstairs when they recorded him doing that.
See, my cousin be with him. She used to be with him. She used to be, rolling with Dick Gregory and stuff. But I'm just saying, like, that's how Deborah O'Neal, thank you for tapping in. And that's what I'm saying with Dick Gregory, like some of the stuff you seeing, it's like this is nothing new. That's what I'm saying. Magic Johnson survived. You don't think Liberace had money? All them people, you don't. That's what I'm just saying. It'll just make you think. That's probably part of my conspiracy. It just make you think a lot of the stuff of what's going on. But see, I got hip to him watching him because it was another guy, the guy from Tennessee, to be doing all the interviews. He doing with Judge Joe Brown now. I can't think of my man now. He used to always do the interviews because they call him Baba Dick Gregory. I can't think of my man name, but he on YouTube. If you just go pull up Dick Gregory interviews, you should pull them up in the different ones to pull up, but you'll see the guy that's doing the interview with him. He be doing a lot with Judge. He used to do a lot with Judge Joe Brown. And my man, I can't think of that dude. Now you need to go watch him because that's how I got hip to what's the name? How black exploitation films saved Hollywood. So you need, when you go back and see what was going on, you'll be like, damn. You know what I'm saying? Like, what's my man name? What's the dude that did Marvel? Stan Lee said Wesley Snipes, the movie Blade, saved Marvel.
I didn't.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I mean, like, when you go to watching, like I say, you go to watching these different podcasts, you will bump into different ones that to give you a little history on what's going on. That's why I'm like, far as I mean, when we asking these elected people, I get what Anna's saying, but when you praying that these people who get into these elected seats become elected officials, that's a hell of a task, man. Expecting these people to hold on. That's a hell of a task. That's all I can tell people. That's a hell of a task when you expecting a person to look like me and you. You know what I'm saying? Like you know what I'm saying? Like you said earlier, we got black mayors, black council people, a black state rep, and you mean to tell me you can't get no help?
Not if it's messing their bag up. That's what we learning. And then Nick, it's not always as dastardly as we think it is. I'm learning that some of these people really do believe their own hype. They think that it's a sickness, like they can't see the forest from the trees, right? They really do think that they come as the person with the vision, the Messiah, and this is for the greater good. The fact that other people are suffering from the decisions that they're making have to be because they're not seeing the vision. So, like, I'm not making excuses for these people, but as somebody who definitely is studying them, I'm starting to see some patterns. So, yeah.
Now, that was my only reason for saying it. She said the Black Messiah. No, but when you do watch it, you right. She said, watch Judas and the Black Messiah. And she was like, faster, my mind worked. Now, I get what you're saying. And this ain't, listen, don't get it twisted. We not trying to, you know what I'm saying, talk away like we down in white people. I don't want people to feel that way because, listen, we just telling the truth on what's going on. Now, this is where I feel like if we got to sugarcoat it, but I don't just blame white people. I'm blaming these blacks that's in these seats.
No, it is
I'm not foolish.
Systemic problem. When
Right.
you're talking about a systemic problem, that is inclusive of everybody that is a part of the system. That is black, red, white, whatever color you want to identify as, and this one band jam. That's what we're talking to. The only reason you hear myself, I'm not gonna speak for you, Otis, but I'll fire the shots for my own.
Mm-hmm.
The reason you hear me talk about blackness and black related issues is because I don't know if it's evident or not. I'm black, so I can talk to the things that affect me and my community. I can't so more talk about it, but from a historical context for other communities and what I've had conversation with for people who represent those particular communities. So I'm not preaching white hate, not totally. Now, unless we're talking about certain time periods and certain people. Which has not been that conversation for now.
Yeah, I'm like I say, I'm not because I'm not like I say, I'm not doing that because if you know me, I'm treat you with nothing but respect. but I'm gonna tell the truth. And like you said, I'm only telling from my experience what I done ran into and what I seen. You know what I'm saying? You cannot tell me what my experience is. I done been pulled over by the police as a teenager saying, "Hey, where you going?" Like, what you mean where I'm going? What you doing? Like, I done went through that experience. You know what I'm saying? And it's like I done seen, you know what I'm saying, the police snatching people out their car. I done seen how they go treat people who don't look like me. And I listen, the way they'll come and attack our neighborhoods, they're not gonna do that in the other well-to-do neighborhoods. They not, you know what I'm saying? Very rarely you're gonna see a white person get pulled over coming on the north side unless they in the area where drugs is being bought at. And you know what the police gonna tell them? Hey man, get from out this area, it's dangerous. You know what I'm saying? It ain't gonna be like if I'm going to hey, what you doing out here? Asking me 1,000 questions.
It's crazy to think that people think poverty only exists in Black communities and migrant communities. And the same circumstances that generate these outcomes of people choosing to use theft or, crime, to feed themselves or feed their habits, whatever the motivator is sparked out of oppression and is sparked out of people being in conditions that are not considered to be sustainable, period. And the only difference when it comes to media, because it's a paid area that is run by the big six. There's another big six and it exists in media. And those are paid for by old money who have been, who knows the power of media, to put on the forefront that it's Black and brown communities that are savage, that don't know how to govern themselves, that are out here being atrocious to most times wealthy, sometimes often white neighborhoods. But they do the same thing too. You just don't hear about it as often. Even down to when you talk about the unfortunate school shootings and things like that, you have to look at the narrative that they're using when you talk about who's representative of being the person that's accused of doing the crime.
Facts.
And this has been historical. If you have had the opportunity to go to any kind of museum, unfortunately we can't do it now, but even in the African American Museum, they have a whole thing that's dedicated to just hone in on the fact of how helpful and yet how dangerous media has been if you don't give context to it. And also, as a consumer of media, do your due diligence to fact check what you're reading. Find out what the source is. I can't be more diligent than that to remind people that while you're taking in information, check the sources of where you're getting it, and also do your due diligence to fact check it. Flint Mayor knows we have white poverty. Is here in Flint, thinks he is above us all, and makes his narrative fit his handler's wishes.
And that's
FACK. Right, but once again, I'm only speaking from a community organizer's lens point is how do we combat that by going out into the community and having these conversations, reminding people that we are collectively suffering, and also being fact-based and knowledgeable, because people are really starting to wake up, but just maybe a little too late to the fact that we're going to need every representation of humanity to really get over what we're dealing with right now, in my opinion.
Oh no, facts, and that's a fact. And I think, that's where we the ones who running this thing, they keep the ones on the bottom into it, where we thinking because they might let a few of us sprinkle in and get some money, but look how they disconnect them from the neighborhoods. And I'll say this again. Oprah Winfrey went and built the school in Africa. I got nothing against that, but she didn't think the people in Chicago needed the help. The kids needed the help there. I don't care what she said, how they felt. That means you needed to do more help here. You don't think on the south side of Chicago that she could have did more good over there? I'm just saying, it's where are our brains at? Even when you looking at, because I was looking at, what's my man name? The one NBA player. When he was talking about how J.R. Reed? I don't want to get, but anyways, NBA player. He was talking about how they was going to the club dropping 30 and 40 bands. When actually, if you could have took that, if he would have been listening to a brother like Dr. Claude Anderson, where you could have went and bought your own neighborhood. You know what I'm saying? In fact, my LeBron reached out, but why we only get one? Why we can't get a bunch? All these brothers coming in and get millions of dollars.
Otis, can I play devil's advocate
Come on
for a
with
second?
it.
All right. So I know we want to see our people do more things on the forefront, right? And I do believe that from a standpoint of motivating people to replicate good deeds, that it's important. We also know, if we're going to be real with ourselves, that the more that we've done to get ourselves in stability, in the stable stream of community, they've done just as much to tear it down. And one thing that I know that sometimes people will do, which is prevalent in like wealthier communities, that they create like umbrella industries, you know, to kind of divide money and to not really lead the trail back to them specifically when it comes to building big projects. Now, I will say there's a probability that maybe her being an old school person and considering the endangerment that you can be in, the more that you do and the more power you have, maybe there are some things that she's doing that we're not aware of. So I only play devil's advocate in that space to like challenge somebody who feels adamant about Oprah doing more, to do their due diligence to check and see if you can, if that's completely true. Mm-hmm. Because the probability is high that sometimes when we do more as Black people and we help out our community more on the forefront, the harder they work to make you disappear. And some people ain't ready to become a martyr on the wall.
Oh, thank you, beloved Deborah Luna. I know you not. That's what I'm saying. Like, don't get me wrong. Some of the stuff I do, I know sometimes I'll be down there tiptoeing. Like, can I bring this to the platform, these type of conversations? You know what I'm saying? Because I don't want to offend nobody, but I do want to tell the truth.
Well, I mean, during these times, I think truth is best, right? And if you're offended, that just means it's not the conversation for you. At this point in time, I think it's evident that we should be helping people. Well, let me take that back because it's one of my no-nos. I don't like throwing should out there. It's like cussing at people. But ideally, in order for us to collectively regain power, it's going to take for us to draw out the biases that exist in us, maybe knowingly or unknowingly. Because I got some biases because of how my people were treated when it comes to working alongside certain people. And in order for me to call myself an organizer and be open to have a community and existing peacefully, because I don't know where else currently my family and I can reside other than American soil, I'm going to have to be able to have these conversations about why I'm hurt by you and your community members. And that's the starting point to it. So like I figure that 810 is an inclusive space. I know we got representation from all races in the chat. And so I don't ever get the sense that Brother Otis is coming from a space, and I know I'm not, I know Anna's not, coming from a space of divide. But in order for us to talk about what's hurting us, in order for us to heal, we got to say the thing. And if you are offended, then I can tell you this. I'm not looking to be offensive, but if you're not willing to have a conversation so that you feel at ease about the words that are coming out of my mouth, then that's your problem, not mine. That's it.
No, listen, I'm just reading the comments. I'm looking at what, okay, Mr. Thomas, he said Oprah gave Minister Chicago Learned Charter, Urban Prep, and many others. Then Kenneth said, the truth is rarely a nice conversation. And I see what Marcia Tarver, she said, see, Yogi G has me thinking, always bring it up, Mickey. We make the decision on how we react. Then Raphael Bird, my good brother from Mississippi, said, she is right, Mick. Think about what Les Brown said about the asking him fixing the projects. He said it was a waste of time. I just think, because, you know, sometimes people will get mad when you bring stuff up. But like I say, it'd be cool when we can talk about each other, like, you know, because don't get me wrong, some of the stuff I was looking at what he was saying, like, but is it wrong because we calling out how people reacting? What's up, Common Sense? How people reacting to our community? And you know what I'm saying? And I'm never gonna let that slide. And I know y'all know I done came on here and got on, you know, criticized Jasmine Crockett maybe 1 or 2 times. But respectfully, what I did, I didn't like the way Stephen A. Smith went at her. I didn't like how they how he came because I know he was sent. Ain't nobody paying me to come on here to say something about certain politicians. I do it just I do it because if I see something I don't like, I bring in, because I'll be watching them. I'm gonna ask some questions. I'm gonna give my opinion on it, and that's just me. But that's just me, and I am man enough to come back if I'm wrong and say, hey, I was wrong.
But that's what it takes, right? That's literally the whole point of human existence and being able to communicate the way that we do as human beings. To sit and have conversation. And ideally in a different universe, right? We will be able to have conversations and agree to disagree and be able to still live in our part of the world and our little plot of land and be okay. That's not what we're dealing with right now, good people. We're dealing with a takeover, Thanos snap style. We need to get it together. And if you care about your community, you'll find a way to find another community that you're not directly a part of and start talking about the similarities of oppression that you are experiencing. And then that will probably point you in the direction of where that boot is coming from that's on your back and neck. And maybe y'all can work together to get the goddamn boot off your back and your neck so you can go out here and just live the American dream, which is to get you somewhere to live and die. Make sure your people okay and not out here dumb, deaf, and blind. And then go on up yonders and be a spiritual ancestor out here and help Ooga Booga the other people through the rest of this damn world. Other than that, it's all pomp and circumstance, in my opinion. But that's why we're here on A10 News Media Group. If you haven't hit the like button yet, please make sure that you do. And what day is it? It's Wednesday. It's Woke Wednesday. Y'all getting all the word on this Woke Wednesday. Go ahead and make sure you hit the cash app or hit the super chat because Otis ain't on here for the free skis. He love y'all, but he got a family he got to take care of too. And this studio ain't gonna run itself. So, don't be stingy.
Fact, and then and that's what I'm saying. That's why Yogi G. That's why Anna is on here because Anna give us a lot of people. I don't know everything about the immigration. You know what I'm saying? What's going on? I don't know. That's why I'll be loving. And plus, y'all from DC, so y'all give us straight up from what's going down on DC. You know what I'm saying?
We the original land of Rainbow Coalition here in the District of Columbia, Mick. Everybody matters to us. We can't afford to be discriminatory. Okay? Only against the people that's trying to tell us as DC residents and natives we don't matter. That's the only ones we discriminate against. But we literally have not enough power. We don't have a governor. We don't have our own vote. Everything got to come out the Thunderdome. So if you Indian, red, purple, green, if you live in these DC streets, you is my friend. And if you ain't, we gonna find out why not. And we gonna work together to become friends because we need everybody to help us be great in the District of Columbia. So if we gotta do it and y'all got an opportunity to do it to strengthen power, I'm just saying.
Facts. DC matters. You heard? Thank you, Deborah Luna, lovely Deborah Luna, for the $5 Woke Wednesday. Facts, JP6, DC matters. And I think a lot of people don't understand, everything. Do people really want to be coming out what y'all been going through? I'm telling you, I get stressed out the little BS that we going through down in council when they call themselves sick and the police on people. And they haven't been sick on Otis, but one time they put me out for trying to film in the front. Otis gonna play the game. I'm gonna go and get up out of there. I don't have no time to keep going back and forth with him. And to me, and it's like, but what about the other ones who stand up? You know what I'm saying? I had an uncle. See, man, I was raised by some hyenas and some wolves and some smart people. Because I had some who said, reason they ain't joined the Black Panther parties. That uncle that came back from Vietnam. He said he went to it and he looked when they're talking about that. He said, man, I just came from Vietnam. Them guns y'all got ain't got nothing compared to what they finna hit y'all with.
Man.
So, I had one uncle who got out and still got paid by him. And said, yeah, they thought they was finna play me, had me over there doing this. They paid him to stay away from the Army base. All right, but yeah, no, see, I had another one when they showed, a lot of people not going to tell you the ugly truth about war. You had some that they locked up in Vietnam. You was right by the ammunition where they had the jail at. Some was like, man, I'm not going back out in the field of combat. You just gonna lock me up. I'd rather do time. You know what I'm saying? And they not telling you this. See, when we tell the truth about, and I'm gonna use that for probably Black Watch here, Brother Elliot, when we put that up. When they show you how you had, and why they be talking about where Brother Elliot will not go down into the Capitol building, but will not to go show them. When he said his father tried to go and they had him just coming back from the war and wouldn't let him in. You got to stand on something. But see, we don't see stuff like that. We just be like, you know.
Everybody's still living in the cloud, man. Everybody's still living in the cloud. We are real. We real live living the Matrix. If you don't know what version of the movie you're living in, we are living in the Matrix. People are being ripped out left and right, and they're not okay. You need to go check on your friends, check on your community, because people are not okay right now. Understanding the real raw and uncut American experience is happening to you in real time. As a millennial, man, we done been through so much trauma. The fact that we even sitting here having an educated conversation on that, I, as a millennial, sitting here having an educated conversation is nothing but the good ancestors and God. Because between COVID, between anthrax, between the Unabomber, the DC sniper, man, I should be out here, but here we are. Here we are. Still out here trying to be like, it's real.
Mark said, hey, Tarver, with $5. She said, from this day forward, we should have Woke Wednesday.
I like it.
Y'all will be on Wednesday now. hey, Sprague, hey, man, listen, my grandfather was in World War II, and he had told me some of the stories. You know, I used to sit around, he used to give me the stories and stuff, what they was doing. Man, it was rough. Like, even when I did, and what confirmed his story, because sometimes, you know, you be thinking your grandfather, them, or your dad. Because my uncle told me he was the quarterback for Notre Dame when I was a kid. I used to think he was a quarterback for the college of Notre Dame. Rest his soul, he ain't no longer here. But this used to tell me I was 6 or 7. He was a quarterback for Notre Dame, just to show you. So, but then when I heard the Minister Farrakhan talking about it one day, he, you know, when I used to watch this, you know, I ain't gonna lie, this one I used to come home with in like the 8th, 9th grade. Like, I wouldn't understand it then. I got to appreciate it as I got older. When they was talking about how when the blacks came back from World War II, even in the Civil War, they had to want to fight in it, and how they got did.
Treated them
like trash. Still got treated. They're talking about they had the laughing barrels in South Carolina where the blacks couldn't laugh, had to go put your head in the barrel if you wanted to laugh.
Wow.
Like, you know, when you hearing these stories, you talking about that they done made sacrifices and you still come back home and get treated as a second-class citizen. It's like, are you serious? And you can, like I said, you go Billie Holiday, Strange Fruit. You know what I'm saying? I don't think people really understand. And I wish, because, you know, YouTube is terrible. You know what I'm saying? It said, B. Marie said, have y'all, let me see you talk about, have y'all read the article from the East Village magazine sharing misinformation? Mickey, you can put the article up so folks can see it. No, I haven't seen it. Where's on your page? No, I really don't really like. Noble Mac, what it do, good brother? Thank you for tapping in. Let me see, Alan. Alan said, Muhammad Ali said those people didn't do anything to him or his people, so he refused to work. In fact, he said, they didn't call me no Negro. They didn't tell me I can't go to an only colored Wilson name.
So, Mick, I was just talking to Anna about an observation that I had about how they were starting to produce, once again, in social media, the story that they're trying to soften up the imagery of the ICE agents, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I was just like, you think that they rolling it back because of what's happening over in Venezuela and stuff like that? They're actively agitating while we're dealing with everything right here in America. Y'all president is still over there actively agitating war in different areas, which means that they're going to be revisiting that policy about doing the draft and everything like that. They touched on it a little bit, but they didn't have the war that they needed in order to activate and pounce on it. So that's one thing. Another thing that we need to be keeping our eyes on and stuff like that, especially for me as being a mother of 3 Black young men, I'm definitely keeping my eyes on what's coming out of that. But like, they're going to need bodies for the war, because war brings profit. And that's what has been profitable for most of the top percenters in America. So definitely seeing the trend on that coming back, and us having another conversation about how do you respond. Because what Muhammad Ali did was transformative for a lot of Black young men who were dealing with being drafted in the war. And when he stood up and said that he wasn't down for it, a lot of young men had to ask themselves, how are you willing to go to jail for how you feel?
Well, I will say
here, because they weren't above that either.
I'm just gonna say this: Elijah Muhammad, the Nation of Islam, has showed the way. Mm-hmm. I'm not telling nobody, but listen, they showed the way, because I'm just gonna say this, and I put this up too. Is this what we're doing? Vietnam was a terrible war. All the vets were treated terrible upon return, black and white. But let me tell you this. They even made drug addicts of them. People came back strung out on heroin. Go watch the movie, and you right, Marcel Tarver. Go watch Dead Presidents. See, they don't tell you that. They ain't gonna tell you that. And then the psyche, the mind state. If you just in a situation where it's just killing, what you think gonna happen? What you think what's happening here? I remember one day, this was like maybe 10 years ago. 10 years ago. Might have been 16. I think it was like 2010. 2010, or it was either 09 or 2010. Me and my cousin was coming, man. We got caught in the middle of a dinner. It was a standoff. We got caught in the middle of some BS. But we weren't the only ones caught. I'm laughing though, because I was helping my cousin get his car. All I seen him come behind me in reverse doing about 90. Yeah, because two people had pulled guns out on each other. This how his car was in front, I was behind, but you had a baby, you had kids out there. This was around about 2 in the afternoon. We was in the standoff, and it was like the kids thought it was normal. And this was crazy, but this what babies I was growing up to see. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, damn, it ain't no more compassion. But this is what kids are seeing now. I'm not saying it's all over, but with poverty yet, shouldn't nobody have to grow up and see this type of stuff? Riding by houses getting shot up, you seeing kids get killed now. Like, don't get me wrong. We thought this was just a good morning, Renee. Thank you, Renee Eccles. Thank you for tapping in, beloved. Let me see. Yeah, you right about that, Renee. Let me see what Marcel Tarver said. The problem with the Vietnam War, when men, especially black men, were not going to therapy, they chose drugs and alcohol to deal with the devastation they witnessed. Facts, because in the black community, like, people look down on you going to see. We had that type of stuff in there. Like, in every community have their own. They misconception, but and it seemed like the black, we always look down on things like that.
You also have to talk about the mistrust that the black community has for the medical industry. Warranted, justified, on top of what we believed internally about what it meant to sit on a couch and talk to somebody about your problems, right? Like, there was a lot of toxic masculinity that was happening during those times too, that we're teaching young men that it's not okay to cry or express yourself and things like that, especially in front of each other. So a lot of different factors were coming into play. So I absolutely agree with that.
The feds is back. Hey, Anna. No, that was Anna. What's up, Anna? What's up, Anna? I'm messing with you. I've been calling you the feds for the longest, Anna. I mess with you. That's just the little stuff I mess with Anna about.
Hey,
Anna. And
I gotta tell Yogi G this real quick, because she new to the 810. So let me say this: as long as I've been around watching 810, anybody that would come up in the chat or anybody that would be around, they would say that's probably the feds. That's probably the feds. So anyone new, they gonna check you out and see if you the feds.
Well, I talked to you actually on the phone, Anna. Man, you had conversations.
Yeah, no. I'm saying even on the other people that used to come on, be like, I don't know, that might be feds. I be like, nah, that's one thing I'm not. Remember, I got mad when we used to have that
said
darn clubhouse.
Yeah.
I went the hell off.
That's I
I
be
went the
messing
hell
with
off.
it.
I said, don't you ever call me no popo, no phase, no nut.
That started a lot of problems during that time. That's why I mess with her. You know, if I don't know you, I ain't gonna mess with you. You know what I'm saying? Because I know her and she been here. Like I joke with her like that, but people, I ain't gonna mess with her. But I know that'll piss Anna off. Because she called me up, Mickey, I ain't no feds.
You know those are fighting words, man.
Yeah, so when I know it irritates, I tell her. That's why I mess with her. Here come the feds.
Yeah, especially when you out here fighting against the damn feds for what they doing to us.
Yeah, nah, facts.
Now, I know, but people have a right. You got a right to question anyone who comes around. You're supposed to. You ain't supposed to let people come into your space and stuff.
Fact. And this is what we doing. It's drugs. It's what we doing. You get drugs in jail. They still get them now. Shit, I watched them do a hibachi in jail. They done fried chicken and everything. No, I'm talking about they got cell phone. They got them right now in California. They got podcasts. The gangbangers. I watch them every day. Doing podcasts from jail, monetized, getting money, doing life. Great. I'm like, damn. Yeah. And my good brother Marcus Fielder from Fairfield, California said there was drugs and alcohol in Vietnam and other wars as well. That's how they numbed the soldiers up to forget and continue to fight. Yeah, I mean, like, man, look, I had an uncle, that's where he started smoking weed at. Like, he is like, man, you get everything you need there. No different when you go watch the old movies, Rome. They had the women for their soldiers. They have everything. I'm saying if you go watch the series that was on Rome, the series on HBO and stuff like that, you know, you go watch them old movies. I love to watch. They have, when they was going on their raids and everything, they had the stuff. They had the women for the soldiers. Even though in Rome doing they series, they went and took the women when they was invading all these other places and stuff. But
boy.
No. Not gonna go there. You're not gonna have me battling with people, Yogi.
All right. Okay.
I'm just saying. No way.
I was saying
I'm just saying.
Nobody said that. Nobody said that.
I'm just saying if you go watch it, it said not podcast. So what is the purpose of guards exactly? The rules have just gone by the wayside, but everybody needs money, even in prison.
I mean, I think it's a part of the rehabilitation process. They have, tried to lessen the savagery of your prison sentence and be more rehabilitative. So I think that in certain jail systems, Marcia, that they are, kind of getting more creative about those who have like reduced sentences and being reacclimated into community and society. They're trying to give them the experience. We're not talking about the ones who smuggled the phones in and who are doing broadcasts from that smuggled phone. That's a totally different kind of vibe.
Oh, yeah. Do you know how they smuggle the phones in? Listen, you got to go watch. What's my man that played in the NBA? He was the center. Remember, he shot his limo driver. Oh, wow. And he got a clinic. He was the center, got that money. He played for the New Jersey Nets.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, he tried to cover it up. He had got that money, but he was the one that built his own house. Him and his father. He had I thought he was a bum player anyway, but good, he got his money. But he had bought his land in New Jersey, but they built their crib. He had built his house. I can't think of his name, but anyway,
it's when the Nets was in New Jersey or the Brooklyn.
The Nets was in New Jersey. No, this was back in the day. The Nets was in New Jersey, but he was like when he went to the Feds. No, Winters, not him. This was basketball. You talk about football. He said they brought the dude. He said he got to use the phone. You can go on the podcast when he talked. Jason Williams. Thank you, Sherry Allen with Jason Williams. He said they were smuggling the phones in their butts. That's how they brought him in.
I didn't want to say it because I thought this was a Disney Channel show.
I ain't say. I just said the butt. They did in the buttocks.
Okay.
It said they smuggled the phone in the buttocks. And that's how they did. And when you talk about Yogi G, hell yeah, go watch Baby Gunner from what is the brother name? Baby what's his name? I can tell you this here, Denver Lane. You can go watch him right now. Here, Denver Lane. I never seen nothing like this. They in jail doing podcasts. It tripped me out. But I can tell you, he's the Denver Lane. Go watch it. I watch him too. I sit up and be like, damn, you doing life and you getting money in there? blowing blunts. I'm like, all the warden got to do is go back and watch the video. Then when you don't see them for about a month, they done took their phones. They came and rushed it.
You get a whole nother one.
Listen, you got they got the people on the outside calling in on them.
Damn, and he killed him on Valentine's Day.
But he tried to cover it up. Yeah, but I listened to his prison stories. I was like, oh, another one, Oz. I remember this dude named Adebisi. That's what made me never want to go to jail.
Ours was a whole different kind
of
thing.
Listen, me and my cousin used to watch that like, cuz we ain't going to prison. That was my scare straight. I was a grown man. I was like, what?
Oh my gracious.
You know what I'm saying? I said, oh, no. And that's why I be tripping off this prison, the school, the pipeline. I mean, prison, the pipeline thing.
Yeah.
And it's crazy. And it's like, that's why I be like with our activists. No, but I understand why we ain't got no mail, because I understand why they got the minister. They took him off of YouTube. So now you got to get the books. You know what I'm saying? But I try to watch a lot of his different followers and stuff. Like I say, you go to Sinetta TV, they pull different ones up. I love to see scholars do their debating. That's why I have a different outlook on a lot of different things.
But Mickey, a lot of times, a lot of them, like once they, they build their their fan base, meaning like the scholars and stuff, they can't survive off water. So what they do is say, you're not gonna watch us for free, you're not gonna listen to me for free, I'm gonna create books, or I'm gonna create places for you to come, because the reality is they got to keep surviving and eating. So that's what we're starting to see a lot of, where you're not getting access to them. But what scares me is, I think in every person that can bring value, or they have this skill set where they can bring some knowledge, you should have a platform, at least for some people that do not have access or monies to go to your events, to still see some of you. And I ain't talking about no little short videos.
Good morning. No, they took the minister off. They took him off because they didn't like what he was putting out there. You got to remember, he was against the magic shot when he did the. Yeah. See, he you know what I'm saying. A lot of stuff he was talking, even about AIDS. When I remember reading. Listen, that's why I've been reading the Final Call for a minute. When that was the paper I picked up. Like I say, I watched Donahue for letting Khalid Muhammad. Don't get me wrong, even though he left, I used to watch a lot of his. I watched a lot. I used to love to watch him and Pastor Chuck Singleton battle. When you go pull that up on YouTube, when he breaking the Bible down, but see, I don't because I know a lot of our people are in the book, and then they be want to ask why Muslims study the book. You know what I'm saying? With a nation, I'm gonna say this: the NOI, why they study the Bible. What book is what book is the black man and woman in? The Bible, right? So if I gotta go talk to my people, shouldn't I know the book that they read and I'm telling them it's not right? I mean, it's just self-explanatory. I just wanted to clear that up, even though the minister they've been cleared that up. I'm just saying, so a lot of stuff I be wanting to bring. Even with but you know what messes me up with a lot of these activists is when they start making money. Now I get the ones who charge it, because none of them was making money on it before people got hip to YouTube and charging for them streams when they was having debates. They was making money, but you start seeing certain ones who was BSing the people, and that's where you get your Umars, you get your, you know what I'm saying, ones that was, and that's when you seen really that conscious community kind of fell out. Yeah. You start seeing people. What's that one dude that got?
Well, even in rap music, you see how conscious rap went away. We grew up on conscious rap, and then it disappeared. And I really believe it's because they blocked it, because there's still conscious rap. You still got KRS-One still making music underground. It's not hitting everyone. You might have to download it or something. But I mean, he's not the only person that does conscious rap. But I mean, it's what they doing.
I would decipher it for you, but I don't want to get in trouble.
Oh Lord.
Yeah, I'm telling you who she talking about, but she there who she talking about that's gonna pick her ass up.
You gonna pick me up right here. Look.
Right. That's why I'm trying to cut my shit. Because when I let mine grow out.
I got watch out for these ICE agents with these leaves. These ICE agents put leaves on the back of their tags so you don't know they ICE agents.
I'm just saying we had people, scholars that was back in the day that was coming to, man, I'm just telling you, that was out here talking. it's a lot of weak people right now. I'm not saying. I'm just saying it's a lot out here. Let me just say this: the good ones ain't getting highlighted. How about that?
Can I play devil's advocate?
Come on with it.
I just gotta play devil's advocate, right?
Come on.
You already know I'm on the right side of history. But I gotta play devil's
anyway. Well, come on.
I'm gonna play devil's advocate.
Mind state.
Okay. How does an activist survive if he doesn't get paid?
Go get a job like everybody else was getting one. That same thing with the pastor. Remember that? I remember pastors working.
But if I get a job, that means I gotta focus from 9 to 5 at the job. So when does my body have time for myself and my family?
Y'all weak in the 2000s. Back in the day, they didn't say that. No,
Mickey, they was getting paid back then too.
Even historically, they was in they had to create business in there. That's why the community had galvanized their money together to make sure that these people that dedicated time in and time out got there. I just wanted to hear where you come from, Mick. Everybody gotta make some money in this capitalist society, man.
No, facts, you do supposed to get it. No, don't you know Harry Belafonte helped MLK? You get people. See, people don't know the true story on Malcolm. His sister had money that was in Boston that did help him. See, like we don't get the true. We get the hearsay. You know what I'm saying? We get the secondhand. That's why people need to go watch Ash White.
We get white media showing blackface, telling us how black people are doing us wrong.
Yeah,
that's what we get.
I don't want to get in trouble because I know the world gonna be mad at me when I play the Dick Gregory. How he talk about? I'm gonna give y'all a hip. Is anybody hip to Frank Matthews?
Wait, not knowingly. No.
He was a big drug dealer in New York. Who y'all think told on Frank Matthews, sick the police on him? Go back and do y'all. I'm giving y'all a history lesson. But you can go pull it on Dick Gregory. But that's why I got this from Sinetta. Like you said in the Bumpy Johnson
story. You said his name is what?
What
you say his name is?
Frank Matthews.
His name is, I never even heard of that guy.
He was a big drug dealer in New York. He
I'm about to call somebody I know.
No, he was.
Look, I'm about to call somebody I know that could probably break it down for me even more.
Yeah, Frank. Yeah, but go pull up when they talk about this no snitching thing. Man, there's been snitching going on, but
they called him the Black Caesar.
Okay,
they called him the Black Caesar.
100 million. Yeah, you better go do the story on him. And he left and didn't. He posted. I don't know if they killed him or whatever allegedly, but. What's up, Cicero? But he left.
Is he in that movie with Is he in that movie with Denzel Washington made what was that movie?
You talk about American Gangster.
Yeah.
I don't think they did or what's name, but go study Frank. Look. Look what Marseille Tarver said.
Yeah, it's 1973. They disappeared.
Right, and he posted up with 100 million.
Jesus.
I listen,
well, Mickey, he might have been just like everybody else. They done ran a Cuban.
They told on him because he had more money. Oh, they said Concrete Jungle said that was based on the Frank Lucas. That was Frank Lucas. Frank Matthews was a real person.
Yeah,
he had man. Listen,
about 20 million.
And how much was that worth in today's time? It was supposed to be the mob snitched on him, Big Paulie Castellano. He the one told. If you go study, when you go look, when Dick Gregory, man, if y'all go watch Sinetta TV, I can't think of my man name, but I know they 5%ers. He was on Sinetta TV when he break down the Bumpy Johnson with Al Capone, not Al Capone, John Gotti and them. When y'all like they give y'all the Hollywood version of Bumpy, like with Bumpy work. No, you better go back and do the real story. Yeah, Frank JP, that's what I'm saying. They said Frank got away, but they told on Frank. They was mad because Frank was getting money.
But guess what they charged him with, Mickey? His charge was tax invasion. I guess the government was mad because they weren't getting taxes off of it.
That's what they was getting them with tax evasion. For shit, you didn't pay taxes for down there 10 years. See, this is how the feds will play you. They might find some shit, might find some notes. Don't ask me how I know this. Just listen to me. They might find some shit on you. They might have found 1 month and said you might have grossed down there, say 100,000. They gonna say you did that for 5 or 10 years. So just imagine what the tax is on that. Before you know it, listen, that's just like what that brother Terry Rozier going through. The NBA, and I saw a lady, and I know she know we was gonna blast her. Operated. They said Frank, he operated in 21 states.
I'm just trying to figure out, man. The fact you brought this guy up, I'm trying to figure out how do you grab $20 million? How do you grab $20 million? Did he have a truck and put a fork lift and pick that shit up?
But you some said if you go watch, it was no different than Quincy Jones. Did you know his the policy that was his family in Brownsville, Chicago? That was Quincy Jones. I think his great grandfather, or grandfather, when they left Chicago, they started the policy game. They left for $20 million from Chicago and went to Tennessee and opened up. So Quincy didn't come from a poor family. Quincy Jones, but guess who let his I don't know if that was his grandfather. Go study and Big Ed Henry. They left him, and that's how he ended up getting killed. And that's how the Al Capone came over. I want to say Tessio, his boss, they took over the number policy. Yeah, if you go really study your history, you will see a lot of these blacks, man, how they really got did. Like, and they left with 20 million.
Well, according to this
in the 20s.
he was in Brooklyn. There was a lot of Italians in Brooklyn because I'm from up north. Mm-hmm. And according to what I'm reading, I don't know if this is true. This is allegedly. Mm-hmm. The Italians wouldn't let him in because they're the ones that really ran the drugs in certain neighborhoods, so they wouldn't let him be a part. So he then broke apart, and started his own thing, and that's how he got so big.
And it was a Pleasant Ave crew. If you go watch the story, Carlito's Way, that's really about Frank Matthews.
Oh, I know that movie. That's Puerto Rican doing that thing.
Yeah,
Carlito's was a #1 Puerto Rican movie.
Yeah, but part 2, I'm talking about when they was young. You don't remember when Puff Daddy was playing them when he told my man, he told the guy, he said, if you come, I'll have all. Frank Matthews actually had told them, said, you come play that game, I'll have all these Negroes.
You talking about when he go in that back room?
Hell yeah, and told him what he would go do. See, they not gonna throw that part because they gonna say, hold on. At the end of the day, listen, that's still a Negro. One thing we can agree on, we ain't gonna show that it was really people pushing back. You know what I'm saying? They gotta show.
Well, who snitched? Mickey, who snitched on him? Did you say who snitched on
him? Go stay. I'm gonna just tell you, go pull up Dick Gregory on him, and you will see who went and told. And you will see that.
I know all Dick Gregory's videos, but I'm trying. I never knew Frank Matthews. I need to go.
None of that then, if you know all the videos.
I didn't get that. What video is it on? Because he
really that one.
Okay, are you talking about the one where he's at Sankofa and the guy's recording him?
No, it's older ones. See, on them, it was doing back in the day when they had Bobby Hemmett. See, on that one I pulled up, that was a place where it was Bobby Hemmett was on there. Khalid Muhammad was doing, this when they was getting the auditorium, bringing the different scholars and stuff. It was Bobby Hemmett, Dick Gregory.
And those are easy to pull up online?
I mean, yeah, they'll let you pull it, but you're going to have to search for them because I had to be finding. They make it hard for you to find them. Like when you be pulling up.
Yeah, because a lot of his stuff has been archived and his family is which his family's here. His family's working on trying to put him in put his stuff in a museum where you can actually go, hands-on see this stuff.
Yeah. No, they even do it with the podcast. I remember Rasheed Wallace was talking about, because the NBA players, the ones who radical, they was talking about, if you go look at the one, Rasheed Wallace was talking about David Stern. If you looked how them GMs, I mean, how the people running these leagues, you would have a different outlook on them. When Rasheed Wallace said how him and David Stern and like each other, how he thought he was better. But see, I can't even pull that video clip up no more. You know what I'm saying? I used to find like sometimes they'd be taking some of this stuff down. When you hear the play, even with Kevin Garnett, when he was talking about, see what a lot of people don't know, when they signed them contracts, the owners, they had to pay the owners back 10% of that money, or the 10 or 15. Kevin Garnett was talking about it. He was talking about how he was playing defense and how he was the #1 defensive player. As soon as he signed that $100 million contract, he started getting fined for playing defense. He said, I was playing it the same way I was playing it before I got the $100 million, but this how they gonna get you this money. They're gonna start taking it back. Object is we give it to you, but they trying to figure a way to get it back.
Mm-hmm.
You know what, Common Sense, he said some stuff, but a lot of these were older videos that I'm talking about, the stuff that he brought out. You know, you can say, but I'm saying you can say he said a lot of crazy stuff, but I'm talking about this was like when Khalid Muhammad and Bobby Hemmington was on the scene. This is a lot of them videos like that one when he was talking about the Green Mile, that was back then. Rashid, now JB6, he told the truth, but it's hard to find that video.
That's what I'm saying. A lot of that stuff is really,
see, that's
really
what I'm telling
hard.
the minister. They took a lot of his stuff down. The Criterion, like a lot of that, but you can go on that NOI page and get it yourself if you go to that NOI.com. You know what I'm saying? You can go pull up the different stuff. Like I say, go get that book, Medical Apartheid. Go get. That's what I'm saying. JP6. I saw it.
I need to take a trip back to Sankofa Yoga G and go in there and see, because you know that's where a lot of his stuff is at.
It's in there. They got. We saw when we went in there last time.
Yeah, you need to go get that. See, you know, when you be sent, and like I say, go. What is it, Brother Ron? Go pull up Brother Ron. Oh, facts, old gamer. Yeah, Al Prophet be having stuff on Frank Matthews. Go check that out too. That's another pop. But the dude name is Brother Ron. He from Tennessee. Go pull up the stuff he had with Dick Gregory. But he also got other people he have on there when he talking about black exploitation films. You know what I'm saying? And you would go see a lot of the stuff that you, like I said, I found out about the one guy when they was talking about, he was a white guy, how they dogged him out in Hollywood from the Hollywood party. I remember I brought it on one of the shows, but he was the first one they did like that too, that they banned. I mean, they ostracized him when he couldn't do no more movies and nothing no more. Go pull out his story, how they did it to him. Just go. See, Brother Mick, you know, this is when I'm not old. It's when I was Brother Mick. So I used to go to a lot of the nation when they would be having
Brother Mick.
Yeah, when I'm Brother Mick, when I be trying to throw on my 10th.
You don't like saying Brother Jordan? You don't like saying Brother Jordan?
No, because I'm going to put it to an X in a minute. I'm going to get rid of that, my last name off the plantation. But
I ain't trying to change the subject, but real quick.
Yes, ma'am.
The fact that rich South African dude turned around and called Twitter X is a slap in the face.
And what you think that was for? What you think the X is for? Unknown.
Yep.
Yeah, see a lot of, but when the brothers, see, I had a lot of this stuff in my library. When I would be going, when the nation would be throwing their events, I like to show it because it be books there you can go buy. It don't just think they from the NOI. They have different thought movements be there. You can see the more science. You can go see your Sunni, you know, the black Sunnis.
Sunnis.
Yeah, different ones that you would see would be there to be having books. You know what I'm saying? Like
I ain't trying to be funny. I have a cousin that's a 5%er, and I used to be. Man, we would talk. He would, you know, I listen because one thing about me, I don't judge anyone on what they believe. You have a right to believe what you want to believe. And I ain't gonna lie, man, he had me going in whirlwinds when he was talking.
Nah, when you go listen, I love to battle with them because I know where they got their message from, and it's like, you know, I don't knock them, but I love to watch them. That's why I say go watch Brother B when he was on Sonetta TV. When you go watch this 5%, he gonna give you the backstory, the backstory of Bumpy Johnson, and they had his ex-wife on there. On one of them, but I think she's probably no longer here with us. But I'm gonna tell you, go back and watch it. That's what I'm saying. If Sonetta, if he ain't made them members only, go back and watch, and you will see where he had Brother beat him on there when they be talking about like the, you know, fires with the mob and Bumpy Johnson them on how they was talking about the Godfather of Harlem. When they did the first one, when what's the name played in there, the movie. I ain't talking about the TV series. The movie, then go watch the one with Bobby Hemmett, and I got that the Boule. That's where I really got that from. When Sonetta was in, he got someone when you talk about Black Hollywood, how the Boule is. This stuff you talking about, Puffy, they was talking about this back in 2000, about the fashion industry, all this different stuff. I mean, people might don't want to accept it, but then you'll start seeing how Queen Latifah got put in the position she was in. See, all this stuff was talked about 25 years ago. When I'm telling you the stuff I was watching, this was old stuff that they was talking about. Then you start seeing now, it was like in present time, you like, damn, they was talking about this already. So some of the stuff you're hearing about Puffy was already said back then.
I'm gonna give you some breaking news.
Come on with it.
in Ann Arbor, Michigan.
Mm-hmm.
They have recalled candy bars.
Which
because
one?
there's an outbreak on peanut butter crush and cashew cow candy bars.
Damn.
Right there in Ann Arbor.
They've been feeding us that poison for the longest.
Mickey, it just came out on the news. Y'all right there in Michigan, please don't eat that candy.
I ain't. I'm done with sweets. What about crumble? Can't go to crumble?
The crumble horrible.
You's a hater. I'm just starting to know that shit. That's why you eat green chilies.
Look at Yogi G's face. Crumble's horrible.
I've never had it, but I've heard horror stories, so I'm not excited to try it as much as I was earlier. They might have
First of all, it's overrated. It's expensive for no damn reason, and it's uncooked dough.
What about the cakes?
And then when you eat it, it gets stuck on the top of your roof of your mouth, and you like it.
Listen, I'm a DC Medicaid recipient, so I have to be very careful with my health these days. Because if I go to the hospital, chances are high that I might not make it out, so I ain't trying to go there. And then also, if I do need to go to a doctor's appointment, I may not be able to afford it because of the furlough. So I have to be very careful. So something that's not fully cooked through don't sound like something I need to be taking apart of.
They basically telling me, they said, well, you know what? You got to die sometime. That's how they play. They give you the food and tell you they don't want you to go to the doctor. What?
What's that case that just came out? They had a case in Maryland somewhere. The beef they found out had trace of that was causing foot-mouth disease in the kids. I was just like, man, listen, I don't know. Maybe I need to figure out how to eat tree bark. That might be safe. I don't know.
That might even be polluted.
You got tree that bark. Right. Damn. I don't know.
Even
man.
That might be polluted.
Well, I've always said that I need to get Underground Railroad ready. It ain't so much about health; it's about sustainability right now, and whether or not I can keep up on my 2 feet and make sure that my ankles are strengthened. Because it seems to me that we're gonna be doing a lot of walking or running. Either way, I need to smaller my back. So this might be, God's good way of getting us prepared for what's ahead. We lose a couple of pounds because we can't get the food that we want and everything like that. And, it might be a blessing in disguise. Who knows?
Because ain't nobody heed the warning. The Bible tell you, store up food. How many people stored up food in their house? They was lollygagging around. Soon as something hit, you gonna see people. Listen. We don't be paying attention.
Well, you still got time to change your mind. Today is October 29th, and it's 10:56 a.m. If you don't know where your food pantries are, you got something to do today. Yeah. You don't know whether or not your community or your church, whatever you believe, is handing out bags of things. You got time today.
You right about that. I had to throw this up, family. Let me just clear this up. This is from Hood News Network. They don't really like 810, but B. Marie do. But let me put this out. It says, this coming from B. Marie, she family. It says, if the city of Flint is genuinely concerned about food for residents, why hasn't the mayor, Sheldon A. Neely, sign off? The A stand for asshole. Sign off the 25,000 for St. Mark's food distribution, or this just another opportunity for him to turn people's pain into his political gain. I believe it is, because I'm pulling up the article.
Mickey, what he trying to tell you is that all them crosses that he wears, that's who you got to go to for food.
And this come from the East Village magazine. I put no stock into them over there, and I think that's enough of me giving. City of Flint to assist residents in SNAP benefits and federal paychecks face suspension. Ain't that some shit there, boy? He know how to soak the people up for he can pay them. I'm gonna give y'all $75.
We need to do a recall list on this show. All this stuff that's coming out that the media is not telling us, and we use this stuff on our bodies, and we eat this stuff, and there's a lot of recalls because the government is shut down. But before the government was shut down, he fired all oversight people.
Yeah,
that means there's stuff out here that we use every day, and they don't even care if they put poison in that shit, and we steady going to buy it.
Oh, well, you right about that. I'm looking at what Carol Kincaid just said. She said, I checked the Ann Arbor candy recall. Issue ingredients not listing cashews or peanuts. Shaking my head. Let me see what this says. Pasadena NAACP published a list of food banks, restaurants, as well as low-interest loans for federal employees. Who gonna take a loan out to get some goddamn food? Did you see what Verizon them said? Oh, we're gonna do this promise. Listen, my phone is just off. Tell you where I'm at with it. Shit, this is how you survive.
I don't suggest nobody take no loans out in this climate because I'm holding on to.
Who's gonna approve the loan?
Facts.
I'm hoping that my student loan don't send me to a plantation near you. So
I'm glad I got to pay mine off. Paid all that fucking money and didn't.
You right about that because when Trump got in office last time, man, he robbed me and started going after my check. I said, Lord have mercy. Every time this Bama get in office, he be robbing us. And people saying, he's so good. Yeah, that's because
I don't know.
Hey,
he attacks the educated black and brown people first. That's where he go to.
Facts. Oh, I got to make an announcement. Family, starting November 1st, these two young ladies will be on 3 times a week.
What?
3.
Oh, wow.
3. I just wanted to put that out here. My DC girl's gonna be on that 3 times a week because old Otis got to make that paper. I got to get that 35%. You know what I'm saying? My game is from the 810 to the 202. I got to collect. I got to collect.
Oh Lord.
Okay.
I'm telling you, I got to collect.
Yeah, I like how you did
that. She just received an email. We ain't knocking you.
Death Row Records around here.
Facts. You know it. Oh, Sugar Bear got to get lists. We got to pull in. I didn't tell y'all. I was telling you I needed y'all on 3 days a week.
Man, listen. I don't even want to talk about it because it might be treason and I might end up disappearing. I just got off the chitlin. So happy to be here.
Facts. I mean, we
gonna make it work, Mickey. We gonna make it work.
Yeah, they still gonna keep the Sunday at 7 o'clock. We ain't taking that away. I need them doing the weekday more. And you see they'd be on Wednesdays at 9 a.m. In fact, Marcia A. Tarver, that was and guess who said to eat their own? A damn crook. That crook allegedly sold out, and he gonna say 810 eat their own. I wonder how his side looking at them right now. I wonder how his side looking at him. He's sitting over there. Mama said, Daddy said. I'm just saying. But that was Anna's best friend when she came up here.
Who?
The one that said Mama said, Daddy said, and the child said, the deacon of the deacon of devil.
That is not my
friend. Coming back, but we at the 2-hour family. We here, 11 o'clock, 11:01. I got to give a shout out to the 202 for just a thought. I was about to shout out to Just Oil too for just a thought. Yogi G and Anna for coming in and helping old Otis to keep this boat.
The show
floating.
Must go on.
The boat gotta float. It gotta float.
Oh, gotta float.
Gotta float. But I think y'all.
As long as we're not in martial law.
I don't want to see y'all coming on if y'all in martial law.
I ain't coming on. I'll be in an undisclosed closet near somebody.
and what's your name? Because you know I'm not that smart. What's your name? What's your tag, Anna?
FUCK Orange, Agent Orange, and love Puerto Rico and Africa.
Oh, you finna get us banned. Shit, I didn't know you threw all that up in there. We out, family. She just went all the way woke on me on that one right there. And you know what? I'm gonna see, Cicero. I'm gonna see. We might be on the 6th. We might be on.
Where Uncle Carr at?
He in the chat. He on the chat. Oh, y'all know y'all
Uncle Carr.
You know y'all gotta be on Friday morning, right? I just want to let y'all know that for y'all. Know.
Yeah, okay. I know. Friday morning. I'm off anyway, so we good.
Otis, you need this in the email. We ain't talking about all this.
Oh, yeah, we did. Yeah, we did. Yeah, we talked about a peace family. We talked. You wouldn't listen. That's what I'm saying. That's that DC education system. See, in Flint, you might don't be smart, but you learn to listen. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna send you out there where you can't read.
Oh my God.
Man, cut this show off. Peace.